Have you ever felt like the more you understand yourself, the harder it is to connect with others? That the deeper you dive into reality, the more you drift from the surface-level world everyone else seems to live in? You're not broken. You're not imagining things. This is the burden of consciousness. The modern world celebrates intelligence, but only the kind that entertains, sells, or simplifies. True awareness, the kind that questions the very structure of society, identity, even time and death, isn't rewarded. It's feared. Because those who seek truth disrupt comfort. Throughout history, the most conscious individuals weren't celebrated in their time. They were questioned, mocked, or forgotten. Not because they were wrong, but because they were inconvenient. Take Diogenes. He rejected wealth, fame, and power, and instead lived in a barrel. To the public, he looked insane. But to those who listened closely, his words cut deeper than any emperor's decree. He exposed the hypocrisy of society, not with anger, but with raw honesty. And that honesty made people uncomfortable. And here's the irony. People crave truth, but only when it's sugar-coated. The moment you remove the comfort, truth becomes a threat. They've built their identity on beliefs passed down, not questioned. So when a deep thinker enters the room, not to argue, but to observe, it triggers something primal. It's not envy, it's exposure. You didn't do anything wrong. Your presence simply reflects what others aren't ready to face within themselves. Psychologists call it cognitive dissonance, the mental stress of holding conflicting truths. But there's also existential dissonance, the quiet discomfort of being near someone whose awareness shakes the illusion of control. This doesn't just happen in philosophy, it happens in everyday life. You ask questions your friends avoid. You feel distant at parties. You notice patterns in behavior, in media, in power structures, things others dismiss as overthinking. But let's pause here. Being a deep thinker doesn't mean being better. It means you see more layers, and with that comes more responsibility, and sometimes more pain. Virginia Woolf once said, "The eyes of others our prisons, their thoughts our cages." To think freely, you must first detach from the need to be understood, because not everyone is meant to walk your path, and that's okay. Lao Tzu taught that true wisdom often goes unnoticed, that those who speak little often know the most, that the greatest truths aren't shouted, they're lived. But where does that leave you? If the world misunderstands deep thinkers, are we doomed to wander alone? No, it simply means we must seek our tribe. Not a crowd, but a few rare souls who speak the same inner language. The internet has made that easier. So have books, music, and quiet moments of reflection. Remember, the philosophers, mystics, and sages of the past weren't isolated forever. Their ideas reached across time, not because they shouted louder, but because their truth was timeless. You don't need to convince the world. You just need to remain honest with yourself. Let the world chase trends. Let it reward noise. You protect your depth, not out of pride, but out of love for what is real. Because while shallow waters ripple fast, it's the deep currents that shape the ocean. So if you've ever felt misunderstood, too intense or too aware, know this: you are not lost. You are simply ahead of your time. Let that be your strength. And if this message speaks to you, you already know what to do. Comment below. Let's build a space for minds that refuse to stay silent. And if you're ready to keep exploring truth, consciousness, and existence, subscribe, because this is only the beginning.